Hey guys, today we're talking about ServiceNow CMDB compliance and certification. Now, with ServiceNow, there are a few different things that sound pretty similar when we're talking about things like certification, but they're actually quite different. Now, certification's main goal is ensuring data accuracy and quality. And in this video, we're going to talk about the two different ways to prove data accuracy and overall compliance. Now, when you open up your CMDB workspace, from right here, you'll see under my work, you have these things called certification tasks. And as you learn what compliance is, you might learn that in the CI class manager, so you go to CI class manager and you go to compliance, you see you have these things called certification filters, templates, and audits. And you must think these must be related, right? They have the same name as you see here, these tasks, but they're actually completely different. So I'm going to kind of show you the differences between these two different tools that you can use to verify your CMDB's data accuracy and how to do basic queries in regards to certification. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be this here. This compliance area under health, under your CI class manager, these areas here actually are what affect your CMDB compliance. That's where it comes from. And these certification filters and these audits, these are like scheduled jobs. They're automated processes that you can schedule, once a week, once a month, whenever you'd like, and it'll look at a bunch of information and give you results. These certification tasks that I showed you earlier, now these come from what's called our data manager, which I have opened right here. Data manager is different. This is going to be better for human review. It's creating a task for somebody to actually look at, as opposed to an automated process where you're looking at tons of data. We're going to create some together so you better understand it. And we'll start off with compliance and certification filters, templates, and audits. So as I showed you before, you go to CI class manager, you go to hierarchy, you select what you want to focus on. So we're going to do servers, and that's going to open up this page here that we just looked at. And under compliance, you have three different areas. Now the filter is to define the scope. So in my PDI here, I've got a bunch of space stuff. I got bunch of CIs that have to do with spaceships and all this fun stuff. So my filter is going to be, we're going to look at space servers for our lunar program that need to have a populated serial number. I created an asset tag called space just to kind of refine it. So you can see here an example. Here's one of my servers. It does not have a serial number, but it has an asset tag of space. So just to give you some clarification of what I'm looking at. So this is our scope, what we're looking at. Now the templates, this guy here, we're going to make this together. The template is where you apply the conditions. We're going to start refining the data. So what we're looking at is we want all space servers to have serial numbers. And we're going to use the filter that's all space servers must have serial numbers. And we want to look at the desired state. So this is, we're basically, what do we want to see with our space servers here? Well, we want them to have serial numbers. So what we're going to do is create a certification attribute condition, and we're going to say that the serial number, serial number is not empty. Our desired state is that this field is not empty because all space servers must have serial numbers. And we're looking at the entire server table. So this will affect Linux, space servers, or Windows, or whatever we got in our platform here. So we're going to submit this here. And then finally, we're going to go to audit. And this is kind of like creating a scheduled report or scheduled job. It's a very similar menu if you've seen that before. So we're going to say space server serial numbers. And a template we're going to use is the one we just made, which is the all space servers to have serial numbers. We're looking at the desired state. We want to run it, let's say we'll run it monthly. Okay? 0 o'clock. And we want to create a task too, right? We want to create it for a specific user. And let's say we have Captain Steve look at the servers to make sure that they have serial numbers. He's the captain of our ship, and he's the best person to look at those. All right, that's basically it. We'll say space server serial fix. Cool. All right. So this is our audit, right? So we saw that we made a filter to define the scope, a template to apply the conditions. Now we're running the audits, and we're going to create a remediation task. So we'll submit this here. And this was done I believe it's every once a month. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to run it right now. So we're going to go to schedule jobs. And here it is, space server serial numbers. This was the one we just made. And it's going to be done once a month, but we're going to execute it now. I want to see what the information is doing. So we just ran this. I'm going to give it a second. All right, so it looks like I made a mistake here. I forgot to save my attribute for my template, so we're going to go back to that really quick. Very easy mistake to make. So what we're going to do is go back to our CI class manager and save that. And we're going to re-add that in there. So, all right, guys, and here we're at. So I made a mistake. I actually didn't save the attribute in the template. So originally it certified them all, but because there was no conditions, I did it again and it actually added the attribute. So we wanted to see serial numbers that are not empty. And now it has created remediation tasks for us to work on. And a way to see this is you can go to the CI here. So this is an example of a server that did not have a serial number. And we're going to make sure we're in the compliance view. So view, compliance. I'm going to refresh the page. And we should see some tasks now. So you can see here, this is the past one from earlier where I made a mistake. But now you can see here we got a failed audit with a task. And we have a remediation task or follow-up task to fix this because the serial number is in fact empty. So this is an example of compliance in regards to certification filters, templates, and audits in our CI class manager. And this is great for automated checks. Like I showed you before, this is happening once a month. It's checking all the space servers to make sure that they have serial numbers. And you can do this for any field you like, any class you'd like. Great for just automated compliance. Now, next up, we're going to go to our data manager. The data managers are great. For this, we can look at a few different policies. And we have a few options here. We got delete, we have retire, we have attestation. And attestation is basically to see if it still exists within the organization. Now, ServiceNow says it's to verify the existence of actual IT infrastructure and applications that you own. So with this policy, we're going to do certification, and we're going to certify all of the space servers. Oops. Perfect. And we'll check for the latest operating system. We want all space servers to have a newer operating system. So check OS of space servers. We go to continue here. Now we want to look at the server. Let's do the Windows server. And we want to make sure that the operating system is new, right? These are servers that are in space. They got to have the best OS possible. And this one is at version 10, which is, we're going to say that's old. So we're going to find all of the Windows servers that have a, let's see here, it is less than or is, we'll say 12. And we're also going to say, and we want to find the asset tag of space. So just in case we got any other servers that come into the mix here. So we're finding ones that have a OS version of less than 12 or is 12. And it's going to follow our asset tag. Now this, you might not even use asset tags. I'm just using it for the sake of the video because I have already tagged all my space servers. Now we'll apply the filters and you'll see here we got four. We got 4 different servers that follow these conditions. We'll hit continue. Now for the assignment type, we are going to apply, do either user field. So if there's a field on the record, the group, if it's in the record as well. So it don't, if we have if we assigned to somebody, we could put that there. Specific user is somebody that has, a specific role, like the this will filter users that have certain roles. So like for instance, if we have A, nobody with A, it's if we have like all right, guys. All right, now we're gonna assign. All right. Next up, we're going to assign this to somebody. So we have a few different options here. We have our user field or group that's in the record, or a specific user group. So for instance, I could do like our quantum space operations team. But we're going to do a specific person. We want it to go to, let's say, I'm going to say, let's see if she has a role here. Developer Sarah. So Sarah is our space developer. She's going to get the certification to check to make sure it's on the latest operating system. We'll continue. Now we have our display fields here. Now with the display fields, these are selected to help a user identify the record being certified. So we're going to do name. And we could even say, that's probably good. Since we don't have to use class since it's a Windows Server class, or asset tag. We'll do this one as well just to make it easier. And then what are we actually certifying? It's going to be the OS. OS version. Perfect. We're going to give her 1 day to complete it, and instructions is verify space servers have an OS of 12 or higher. So this is what we're going to verify, or actually we're going to say that have an OS of 12 or lower. We'll do this instead. This makes more sense with our policy. So we're trying to find and we want to that works. Cool. Okay. Continue. Schedule. This would be just once, right? We're just getting a quick view for Sarah to find out which servers are going to be, outdated. So we'll do once, and this doesn't really matter because we're going to execute it right away. We'll continue, and we have a 4. We're going to publish that policy. Perfect. All right, guys, now we are impersonating Sarah. So let's check the workspace, and we should see some certification tasks. So we can see here we got our My Work, and let's check. And perfect. Here we go. We have our certification tasks right here for our certified space servers. So this will show our policy. We can click this, and we see our policy execution instances, and it should show up these servers. So, and yes, it does. We have a Saturn server, Lunar Pro, and our Earth control one as well. So we have Lunar Pro, which one is less than 12, and we'll pull our other one here. Servers, we'll go to Windows. This one should be less than 12 as well, and yep, 11. So as you can see here, it did create certification tasks for Sarah for those servers. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. So I hope this made sense. To kind of recap, when to use each one. If you're ever unsure or not sure, which one to use, I would say the data manager is a good option. Right here, the data manager certification policies, because you can also it's good, better for lightweight needs, because you get human review. You can filter exactly what you're looking for. It allows you to process CI lifecycle events such as like deleting and retiring. So I would say this is a great place to start. The compliance, this is great as well. It's better for automated compliance enforcement. If a computer can check it reliably, use compliance, use the filters and audits. If you have a human that must confirm it, then I would use Data Manager. So that's basically it, guys. I hope this helped, maybe make more sense. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Let me know what I can improve on. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks so much, and have a great day.